Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 4 of our video production for Solopreneurs series. So we have discussed a lot of things in the previous 3 episodes. If you haven't watched it yet, just check out the playlist for this video, and you're gonna learn a lot as a newbie, as a beginner in producing videos for your brand, your personal brand, or for your own company. My name is Robert. I'm a content creator, and my passion is to help you become content creators. So quickly, I want to show you the Premiere Pro Workspace. So we're gonna do it like in small bits of pieces in the next few weeks until you really get that comfort in doing your own videos and editing it on Premiere Pro. So going to my screen here, I have my Premiere Pro open. So I want to talk about Workspace, the Premiere Pro Workspace. So Workspace is practically like your office desktop. It's a way to arrange your videos, your audio, your assets. And in Premiere Pro, you can easily use template workspaces, or you can create your own workspace, no matter how you prefer it, and as long as it makes your job easier. So let's go to my computer right now and check out how we can maximize the Premiere Pro Workspace. I have Premiere Pro open right now, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be creating a new project here, and you can see the this dialog box. It's just practically allowing me to name my project. So let's say I'm just going to call this a demo video. And the most important thing to note here is, you have to make sure that on the location you are on a specific folder. So I have here a Premiere Pro Workspace working folder. So if I go in, and I'm just gonna create another folder here and call it Premiere. Okay. And it would launch my the default workspace, which is practically the last workspace that I use. So I want to go quickly here and give you an insight on what you're looking at. So most editing softwares, they are practically the same when it comes to the workspace. The principles of importing videos and cutting it into sequence is practically the same on all video editing softwares. I've tried a lot of softwares before I settled to Premiere Pro, because Premiere Pro is easy and it's fast, at least for me. So we're looking at the workspace now. So practically what you need to do is on this whole screen, whenever I click in a specific panel here, you would notice the blue outline. So it means that's the active workspace. So let's say when I go to window menu, and let's choose the editing. Okay, so this is the default arrangement of the workspace, which is called the editing workspace. So it practically gives me this program panel and this effects control and the source. So this is where I'm going to see all the clips that I have later, and below this is the sequence or the timeline. So this is where you build your videos and your audios, and on the lower left you have the effects, the libraries, markers, and history. So once you are presented with this workspace layout, you can practically close anything that you don't like. For example, I don't usually use the markers, so I'm gonna just click this icon here and say close panel. Okay, and history, let's say I want to close this. So when I started using Premiere Pro, I want to keep it really minimal. Don't usually use the media browser because I always do imports straight from my hard drive. Okay, so on this right side here is This is pretty new for Premiere Pro. They just recently added this, so you have the essential graphics and the lumetri color, which is used for adjusting the color of your video. So for us to basically understand this, I'm missing one panel, which is the projects panel. So I'm gonna go here and open the project. So I'm just gonna drag here. This is another way to rearrange your workspace. So let's say you want to move this, you just have to drag it anywhere you want it. But for me, I prefer my project panel here on the lower side of my screen. So I'm just gonna be demonstrating how to bring in the files. I'm gonna double click here and navigate to my desktop, and I have an import folder here. So once I imported it, it's gonna be in my project panel now. So this contains graphics and music which I'm going to be using, but I'm not going to be demonstrating the editing for this episode. I just want to keep it short. So if I'm going to import another set of files again, so I have here on my Premiere Pro Workspace directory the audio and the video. This is the Premiere folder that we did a while ago. So just to quickly show you how the sequence looks like, so it's as easy as dragging this. So below this you have a couple of icons here: delete, new, and a folder here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag this to the new icon, and now I have my sequence filled with the video that I have. Okay, so this is the easiest way to bring in your clip. Okay, so now that I have my clip, you have seen that in my workspace, this effects control here is already showing up properties of the clip, which is, when we look here closer, it's the motion, where I can change the position, the scale, I can rotate, and I can even change the opacity. So these are the basic stuff that you can change. So how this works is, you have to make sure that you have selected the proper clip here before making any changes here on this effect controls. Okay, so a few more things. More important sets of tool is found here, usually beside your timeline. Okay, I'm not gonna go to this in detail for this episode because I wanna do short episodes for the whole editing process. So on the top of your workspace, there's also a lot of options for the workspace. So it's either you go here on your window or select here. Let's say I want to make changes. I want to make this, my program or my sequence, bigger. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put my mouse on this small gap here, tiny gap. And once you see this arrow, that allows you to move and resize your panel. So I want it a bit aligned like this, so that when I'm working, so yeah, I just have enough space for my files and my effects, and here are the graphics and the colors. So when I select the clip and I do a bit of a change, let's say I want to make the temperature towards the cool side, so this is, you would notice that it's changing the color of my clip. Okay, so it's just basic, and whatever you're doing here, once you change the lumetri color, once you click this here, you'll notice on this effects control that you have the lumetri color added here. So this is basically the same control for this one. The difference is you can practically animate stuff here, because on your effects, when you see this toggle, I call it looks like a small alarm clock, it's a toggle. It means that you can do animation on a specific attribute of your video. So Lastly, this is called the playhead. So as you scrub your playhead from left to right, it means from the beginning of your video towards a specific location of your video, you will notice this changes also. Okay, so I can control from here or from here, so it's practically does the same thing for me. So these three are connected. So once I select the clip, it brings me to a specific location on my clip, on the sequence that I want to build. So let's say going here, just gonna simply cut this and cut it here. So when I put this together, you would notice that there's a jump. Okay, demonstrate how the sound, so that's a jump. And one more thing before I wrap up this episode. So usually depends on how fast your machine is, you would notice a bit of a lag and it's a bit slow. So here on the lower right side of your sequence program, you would see a bit of numbers here. So it says full, half, and 1/4. So this is the easiest way for you to control the resolution. So if I have this in full, you would notice that when I play it, it's a bit, there's a bit of a lag. It's not really obvious because I'm using a 16GB iMac, but I would highly recommend that you edit with this 1/4 resolution. So it helps you do it faster and really focus on the cutting and building your stories. So that's the Premiere Pro Workspace to kickstart our series of editing for the video production for solopreneurs. So I hope you learned something from this very short episode. And if you find value in this episode, please subscribe or share this to your friends who would benefit from it. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you on my next videos.